So Simple tutorial. Good morning students, welcome to SST So Simple tutorial. In the previous class we had read about the beginning of printing, that is the woodblock printing that had started in China. Then we also read how it moved to Japan. Besides, we had also learned about a new form of printing called ukiyo. Today we will discuss the next unit, print comes to Europe. So let us get started. Dear students, just recall the first video of the chapter, The Making of the Global World. We had read about the Silk Routes. China had well established trade with Europe through this Silk Route. China had invented paper also, and this Chinese paper used to reach Europe through the same Silk Route. The Europeans then made use of this paper to produce handwritten manuscripts. These manuscripts were written by skilled scribes. So this is how printing was happening in Europe. Okay. Remember students, I had mentioned Marco Polo before, who had travelled through Asia along the Silk Route between 1271 and 1295. In this period, he had spent 17 long years in China. During his stay, he had seen the system of printing there. So when he returned to Venice in 1295, he carried the knowledge of woodblock printing along. This is how print came to Europe, understood? And Italy was the first country to use this technology. After this printing technology spread to other countries of Europe. Woodblock method soon became popular. But before I elaborate more on the popularity of hand printing, let me tell you that there was a small group or say section who did not like the scripts being written on ordinary papers. These books were considered as cheap quality books by them. Such group was mainly the aristocrats and the rich monastic libraries. So what did this group prefer? They preferred manuscripts written on vellum, which means that despite development of woodblock printing, manuscripts continued to be handwritten to cater to such group. Vellum is, dear students, a parchment made from the skin of animals. Parchments were prepared for the very purpose of writing on them. Okay, so let me catch up the story from where I left it. Woodblock printing was gaining popularity. Merchants and students in the university bought the cheaper printed copies. Booksellers all over the Europe began to export books to many different countries. The demand for books increased. Such was the demand of books that the booksellers were having a hard time meeting the demands of books. So, production of handwritten manuscripts was also organized in new ways. Booksellers had to employ more and more scribes. More than 50 scribes often worked together for one bookseller. But these measures also were not adequate. They could not satisfy the ever increasing demand for books. Why? Because handwritten manuscripts suffered from some serious limitations. Dear students, copying manuscripts was expensive, laborious as well as time-consuming business. Besides, manuscripts were fragile, you can say they were delicate, they were difficult to handle. Also, it was not easy to carry them easily. Hence, their circulation was limited. Understood? So, with the growing demand for books, woodblock printing gradually became more and more popular. Most of Europe had come to adopt hand printing technology. They were being widely used to print textiles, playing cards and religious pictures with brief texts. Now there was clearly a great need for even quicker and cheaper reproduction of texts. Luckily, a major breakthrough occurred in Germany in the 1430s. Johann Gutenberg developed the first known printing press. As a result, my dear students, the world of print moved from the hand printing to mechanical printing. Let me stop here. Time for probable questions now. 1. Give reasons why woodblock printing only came to Europe after 1295. 2. What is vellum? What was its use in Europe? See, this question was asked in section A as 1 mark question in 2020. Vellum is A. Printing on palm leaves, B. Printing on paper, C. A parchment paper made from the skin of animals, and D. Printing on clothes. Let us see question number 3. What are the shortcomings of handwritten manuscripts? Now read your textbook properly and prepare these questions. In the next class, we will read about the next topic, Gutenberg and the printing press. Till then, keep reading and have a nice time. Thank you.